Hi everyone, let me welcome you to this new and slightly different video. So here I am at Cologne-Bonn Airport during this challenging time. So what's the plan for this video? I'm going to show you a trip with Eurowings that consists of 2 flights. We start right here in Western Germany, in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, where Cologne-Bonn Airport is located. First I'm going further north to Hamburg, and then I will take another plane to get to my destination, which is Stuttgart in southern Germany. I think this footage illustrates the situation which the aviation industry faces right now. The airport is open, but very few people are flying. The German government discourages its people from traveling. It's not forbidden, but there are certain rules that make traveling for fun a difficult thing. For instance, as a tourist, you are not allowed to stay in a hotel or basically at any other accommodation. Restaurants and many other establishments are closed. Only a few weeks after this partial shutdown, Germany went into a full-scale lockdown, including a curfew in some regions. Here are the flights that are supposed to leave in the evening and the following night. Not too many destinations for an airport that handles over 12 million passengers during a normal year. But what about my own trip? Getting from Cologne to Stuttgart via Hamburg will take me 4 hours and 20 minutes, including a layover of 2 hours. On both flights, Eurowings uses an Airbus A320-200. At first I was in the wrong terminal, that's why I had to make a little walk to this part of the airport. However, things don't look much different here. Very few people, most shops are closed, and there's hardly any life here. Anyway, there's another thing that I'd like to show you, the observation deck. Therefore, I have to go upstairs. On the stairs, they wrote down the milestones of this airport, for instance passing the mark of 10 million passengers in 2007. Okay, there we go, let's see if this is a good place for plane spotters. Well, it probably is, but given the situation, there's not much to observe here at this moment. It's a rather sad picture, but I hope it will change for the better soon. In order to explain the currently difficult environment for airlines, I analyzed Lufthansa statistics and created an animation showing the impact that COVID-19 has on Eurowings. Remember, Eurowings is a subsidiary of Lufthansa. Let's have a look at their passenger numbers. At the beginning of this year, they remained surprisingly stable, although Wuhan was already in deep trouble in January and February. In April, though, Eurowings had less than 200,000 passengers, which was followed by a little recovery in summer. Now things look rather grim again, and Lufthansa had to be saved by the German taxpayer. This is the area past security with some shops, and it is slightly more crowded here. By the way, yes, there is a lounge at this airport that is technically accessible with my priority pass, but due to the circumstances, it is closed. Maybe a couple of words about this airport. If you remember the satellite image at the beginning of the video, you may have noticed that it has 3 runways, which is a lot for a German airport, and it actually looks rather big. Back in 1938, the Nazi regime built a military airfield here, and after World War II it was initially used by the Royal Air Force. Then in 1957 it was given over to the German authorities. From then on, the airport expanded, because first of all it is located in one of the most densely populated areas of Germany, and secondly, Bonn used to be the capital city during the Cold War era. This is why the branch responsible for government transport is still stationed here. In fact, various parts of the German Air Force can be found at Cologne-Bonn Airport. On this image, you see another business driver at this place, the cargo area. For companies such as UPS and FedEx, Cologne-Bonn Airport is attractive because it is open 24/7, which is uncommon in this country. I've reached the star-shaped part of the terminal where my plane is prepared for boarding. I walked around a little bit and then decided to have a healthy snack. Well, at least I hope it's healthy. Anyway, time to board the plane, and I'm the last passenger doing that.
Hallo, genau, ja, so ist es. Alles klar, danke. Ciao.
In the plane, there's plenty of space. It's not really difficult to keep away from other passengers, because there aren't many. It's mandatory to wear a mask throughout the flight, but there's one situation when this doesn't apply. I'm going to show it to you later. And by the way, a question to you, my viewers. Have you flown during this pandemic? And if so, what was your experience?
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen from the Flytech. My name is Markus Pippers-Kramer, your pilot. With me in the Flytech, Captain Marlene. We will leave this position ladies on time. I bring you in around about 45 minutes to Hamburg. The weather there are some clouds, temperature 10 degrees is most in Southwest England. So I hope you enjoy this flight and I wish you a nice evening.
Well, before you ask me, I don't know what kind of filth this is on my tray table. It's like some sort of black paint, but it serves as a good reminder for me to use my hand sanitizer. Here at Cologne-Bonn Airport, we're going to use runway 32 right, which has a length of 12,516 feet or 3,815 meters. Okay, let's enjoy the takeoff. I'll be quiet for the following 23 seconds. Now I filmed this with a very basic set of cameras, mostly with my iPhone and a GoPro. Together with the location of my seat next to the wing and the dark lighting conditions, it's difficult to do a lot of aerial sightseeing, but let's try anyway. So in the foreground you can spot the cargo terminal, and behind it there are the Air Force barracks that I have shown you earlier. Other than that, there's really not much to see here, so let's focus on what we can find in the cabin. Okay, back to the onboard product. In the seat pocket we have all the usual documents and magazines. Among them is the menu. Because of the situation, they only offer a limited selection. Eating food and drinking beverages, by the way, are the only instances where you are allowed to take off your mask. What you can get are packaged snacks, which aren't really my favorite sources of nutrition. For the sake of the video, I chose this accumulation of calories for €4.50. So how can I describe this trip so far? I would say it's comfortable, not too many people around, and personally I don't mind wearing a mask. Whenever I board a plane these days, I'm just happy to fly and to feel the spirit of aviation. In the seat pocket you can also find the safety card for this A320, as well as this magazine. It contains an interesting article about how they filter the air on airplanes. One thing I would like to mention concerning the internet connection on this plane is that technically there is Wi-Fi here. However, since the pandemic started, I get an error message on every Eurowings plane when I try to connect to it. With that being said, there's not much time to use it anyway, because we are already approaching Hamburg Airport. There we are going to land on runway 15, which has a length of 12,028 feet. In terms of aerial sightseeing, there's not much to discover at this place. It's dark outside and there are only a couple of industrial buildings. Well, so that was a very smooth landing. All we have to do now is to taxi to the terminal, and gate 05B will be our gate of arrival today. To our left there's an airplane that is operated by Lufthansa CityLine, another subsidiary of Lufthansa which is responsible for domestic and European flights within Lufthansa's network. Okay, we have arrived in Hamburg, and it will be interesting to see what this airport looks like during this pandemic.
Tschüss.
Well, there are still a few flights arriving and departing from here, so at this point you can see a couple of passengers in the terminal. But don't let that fool you. Just like in Cologne, shops are closed, and there's not much going on here, considering that normally this is the 5th busiest airport in Germany. Usually it serves more than 130 destinations, and over 17 million passengers used it last year. The airport consists of 2 terminals, which are connected by the so-called Airport Plaza, a concept that is somewhat similar to that of Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. As time went by, a strange calmness took over this place, only to be interrupted by a load of coughing passengers arriving from southeastern Europe. In an effort to evade those clouds of aerosols, I discovered different parts of this airport, and that's when this video becomes like a production about lost places. On the upper floor, there used to be something like a restaurant area. Now it's closed, and we can only imagine how this looked before COVID-19 entered the chat. People would order food, they would eat sandwiches, enjoy the view from up here, but now all of that is over, at least for the moment. Personally, I wonder when things will become like they used to be, if they will at all. What's your opinion on that? Tell me in the comment section below. Well, I still have some time left until boarding, and my cameras need to get recharged. It turned out to be not that easy to find some power plugs at this airport. As I'm on my way to the gate, it's about time to answer the question how much this trip actually cost. I booked on short notice and paid a total of €121.95, including a seat reservation for €16.96. The ticket itself without the additional seat reservation cost €104.99, €63 of which are taxes and airport fees. So more than 50% of the ticket price go to the taxman and the airport company. I've arrived at gate C15, so let's board the plane.
Hallo. Danke.
At this point, allow me to invite you to follow me on Twitter. There, I release some little videos, among other things, so it would be cool to welcome you there as well. You can find me under the same name, and I put a link in the video description below. Okay, so it's basically the same type of plane as on the previous flight. This time, there are slightly more people aboard. Nevertheless, the seats next to me remained free throughout the trip. Now we are taxiing to the runway, and this time it will be runway 23, which has a length of 10,663 feet. The takeoff is even less spectacular than in Cologne, because you can't see anything from the window at this time of the day. You can't hear much either, because I probably covered the microphone of my phone by mistake. We're airborne, and first of all I use the disinfection wipes that they give you when entering the plane. The crew has just started with the onboard service. Once again, I'm going to buy a little snack. So let's see what they offer. Let's try the coffee break deal for €6.50. Okay, here it is, the hot chocolate with the chocolate cake. I have to say it took them very long to deliver the drink, and it wasn't very chocolatey, so to speak. I'm not really sure if that is really worth more than €6, but I reckon they have to generate some income now more urgently than ever before. We have started our approach into Stuttgart Airport. There we are going to land from northeastern direction. There we go, once again a smooth and uneventful landing, which is good. From here you see the general aviation area with a large hangar by DC Aviation. That is an airline with an interesting history. It used to be fully owned by Daimler Chrysler, and it was founded to fly their auto managers around the globe, but eventually that business was sold.
Thank you for being our guests on this Eurowings flight today. We wish you now pleasant remaining evening here in Stuttgart area, or should you have a safe and comfortable journey to your final destination. Say thank you, take care, and good night.
As we are about to arrive here in Stuttgart, let me tell you how I feel about this trip. I mean, you have seen that it's generally kind of awkward to travel these days. You don't get to do the things that you would normally do, such as visiting a lounge or a restaurant. You keep away from other people, and every cough that you hear is like an alarm to stop your breath and to run away. Traveling became very basic. It's about getting from point A to point B safely, and I believe Eurowings accomplished that mission. In spite of all the shortcomings that traveling is associated with right now, I must say I'm just happy when I get to fly. It makes me smile, and looking forward to many other trips that I plan for the future.
Danke, tschüss.
Okay, my friends, this is the last video of 2020. What a year, wasn't it? I hope that despite everything, you could take some positives out of it. Regarding this channel, I would like to express a big, massive thank you to you, my audience and my subscribers. You have shown a lot of support for my videos in various ways. You watched them, you liked them, you shared them. That all means a lot to me. I wish you a great remaining year and a wonderful 2021. So once again, thank you wherever you're watching, and see you soon.